Okay, I'm back after this unfortunate um, drop. I had to restart the router, 9 yards, but we're back. Now I gotta go re-edit. See what the internet looks good. Back in the chat room. Oh wow. I hope that was saved. That boy, what's going on? Yeah, the internet went down. Sorry about that. We're back. We're doing some grind work tonight. What's going on, Kisan? Welcome back, guys. Alright, let's head over here. Let's refresh this.
Hey, did you get your push-ups in today?
Yeah. I actually did. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. To ask me a question that you're not gonna believe me, like, might as well just don't even ask. Yes. If I tell you the truth, you're gonna be like, no, you didn't. And if I lie, you're gonna, no, you didn't. And so, or only.
When did you do it?
No, it's just that I just wanted to do it. The what's the name of this thing here? The delayed onset. The DOMs weren't so bad, honestly. So I was like, I at least try to get my minimum in 10 a day until the DOMs are completely gone. I'm like, if you want to see me doing right now on the stream, I'll knock out 10 right now. It's not hard.
You know what? Yeah, I want you to. Why you at it? I picked up on that.
Okay. All right. You got.
If you want to do a stream, a duo stream of us working out, I'm down for it.
Nah, I got too much work to do. I gotta finish this brochure.
Oh.
I just gotta. I'm doing these 10. I'm just doing these 10 because you don't believe me. It's crazy. So let me just knock them out.
These 10 are proof if you being consistent or not.
It'll just mean I did 20 today. That's all. All right, here we go. 6, 7, 8.
Is the stream delayed?
10. Of course it's delayed. 11.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a big ass delay. Cause I don't see what I'm yet.
Just wait, it'll come.
Oh my God! It'll be the Jamaica trip on. It'll be August by the time.
You're ridiculous. Well, anyway, I did 11, so there goes 21.
Bruh, how the hell I fast forward this shit? Oh, so you have been doing good.
The DOMs are gone, so it wasn't that bad. The DOMs was only one day, so I'm glad they were only one day. Every morning when I get up, I just do 10 right there on the spot as I get up. I want to wait till like every morning that I get up out of the bed and I knock out 10. I want it to become, what's the word for this? There's a word for this. I just want to become natural. So then now I just start doing it just because I'm just doing it. And then 10 will turn to 20, 20 will turn to 30, 30 will turn to 40. The next thing you know, every morning I get up, I'm knocking out 50 a day. Drink some tea.
Every week you should add one extra push-up.
Yeah.
Every week.
Well, I just did 11 right there instead of 10. So.
Then when it gets way too easy for you, you can do 100 a day. Then you can start doing some advanced stuff or whatever. Yeah. When it gets too easy. But yeah, I'm gonna get up early. I'm gonna try to get up early enough so I can get my workout in. I try to get to 5 today. I dozed off way too long.
See, look at Dana's thing. Right
Dude,
now.
this gotta be a different one. This ain't the right stream.
What do you mean? Oh, you're looking at the stream that got disconnected. Look for 16.5.1. This is a brand new stream.
Alright, since I ain't see it, you gotta start over.
You'll catch those in the morning. Alright, so
No, baby. No.
I don't know why y'all be trying to hurt me.
You compare Hakeem Supreme, pain is good. Pain that makes you feel alive.
Yeah, well, I'm hurting right now, so I guess that I'm good. I'm alive now. Oh, it's called Quanai Covers, alright? What is a TikTok? Dana and Rhea look mad.
I see her arm starting to get a little bit stronger.
Who?
First started.
You what?
I'm starting to see a little bit difference from you already.
Well, I can knock those out. Like I tell you, I get up in the morning, I just knock out 5 and 10 a day. So today was not. Today is 21. So that's good. So I guess tomorrow will be 10 in a day. I'll start doing 10 in a day, 10 at night. Where's my work? I'm all over the damn place. Here we go. IG.
Yeah, you ever thought about taking some individual pictures of girls' spouses? Therefore, you'll have pictures for them already.
Instead of doing
You got to do some sales.
instead of doing that practice for the that short mini con that we went to, I should have took that 25,000 and go spend it on a photographer. That's what I should have done. Who has me playing in the background? Mute me. Alright, I just finished Quan Eye.
Alright, well, I'm about to finish this though.
Why? You just woke up.
What? I have work in the morning.
Oh,
I'm trying to get up early enough to focus so I can get to work into myself. I ain't passed out too far.
okay.
Alright.
Alright, night, bro. Talk to you later.
Alright.
Alright, guys. So. Oh, word? That's what. Wait, what? Okay. So this is a temp card here. Neko's gonna fix that, put her name in, and adjust the stuff. All Alrighty then, so let's get back to the next one. So who next? Alright, so at the random what the hell? What do you mean? I'm editing the stuff. It's work, late night work. Now they can see. They can see what we actually do. Oh no, that's on purpose.
Oh, okay.
I see.
I thought it was something that is supposed to reveal during the event, and something to be actually.
No. It's alright. They can collect those. Like they can collect those. Collect that. We can get those stuff. Nope. What is this? Okay. We're just gonna have to call it ENP Alethea. That's the name of the channel. She has a TikTok because Empress Now gave her one. But she got to put up some new stuff. Instagram. I wonder what her IG is. And now ever tag her? Yeah, he did. Yeah, she did. I found it. Yeah.
I gotta tell you, my work put me back on the first shift.
What does that mean?
So exactly, it means put me on the first shift. Meaning that I'm just back to work in the morning.
Oh, in the mornings? Okay. Noah, what's up? I'm over here grinding, finishing up the brochure. Man, I'm over here watching BSS, and this shit is funny as F. What's BSS? I have no idea what BSS is. Alright, let me get back over here.
I hope it's not what I think.
What do you think it is?
Mm, I think it's not. If I recall correctly, ESS. That sounds like a YouTube. Imagine a YouTube channel. That be doing stuff, gay ass shit. Could be
Okay.
wrong though. Beyond scared straight. Oh, that one.
Oh.
But yeah, so being back in Manchester and also being back in the same position they put me in at the part time, so I'm so back to chilling. Yeah, yeah. I just hope they just have me stay there instead of back as a apologize upgrade for the rest of this month and also. Then I just be off the probation. I try to see if I can get to work on this week.
Wait, what?
And I'm gonna try to see if I can get to work on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
But I realized that they also have another sheet for overtime for Sunday. And if I recall correctly, Sunday usually double pay. So I'm like, hopefully I get that shit too. I put my name in for both Saturday and Sunday. If I get one of them, fine. If I get both of them, great.
I found a nice
Sure,
picture.
if I get both of them, that would mean that I would not be able, I'm not going to have a particular day off for that particular week, but that's completely fine.
I found a good picture of Apple. Now the question is, does Apple
That's so cute.
have a YouTube?
She does have a YouTube. I don't think it's
Active.
not saying active, but more like about personalized websites. Hold on a second. Let me check.
While you're doing that, I'll get the other stuff. I'll get her like a. I know she has a TikTok. I know she has an Instagram. And I think she has a Twitter. See, I got an IG right here.
Please tell me this is the right one. Oh, okay. I think this is the latest. So, whichever. Nope. She doesn't have a YouTube link that says, oh, youtube.com/actors in order.
Okay, let's get a. found the Twitter for Apple, but I don't know if this is the active one. Her last.
Well, it's she doesn't use well, like she doesn't use Twitter considering that doesn't use Twitter in a while considering that the space she has to jump around with her phone. I mean, you can still use that account.
Yeah, it says Apple Valkyrie, so it's just not updated. TikTok, however, is updated. Where is she on the tickety talk? The hell? Where is she? Why don't we have Apple? Well, because I don't have Apple. Niall has Apple.
Okay, well, if that's the case.
No, I'll get her. She's in one of Niall's TikToks. I just go into the ones that she's with Niall and then click it. And this one definitely has happened. Oh my goodness, you gotta be kidding me. She didn't tag anybody in it.
Okay, that means the only way to get
No, that's just one. Well, you look for it. If you can get to it before me, that's good. But there's Apple's in other TikToks. Just gotta scroll down and find her.
You said comic Jason beats Homelander, but loses to Blake.
What? What was I listening
Sorry.
to?
I opened TikTok and that's okay.
Oh,
That's lots of
wait, what? What?
No, it says something. Some dude was saying, "You said Jason beats Homelander, but loses to Brightburn." And I'm like, I don't need.
I found Apple.
Okay.
Did you find a YouTube page?
Our YouTube page doesn't have a personalized.
I know, but it has a title on it. What's the title? Or just send me the YouTube link.
Apple Cinema. Pretty much the same as the TikTok.
My guy said, I like the rush, the thrill, and now when the homeless people can't eat on Saturday morning because I stole everything from the food pantry. Got 'em. It shouldn't have to be funny.
That's not funny. That's terrible. Now homeless people can't eat from food pantry.
Wow. When you type in Apple Simmon, she doesn't come up.
No, it's Apple. Okay, it's like this. It's Apple SI dash MON. I don't know why it's like that. So don't ask me. I forgot to ask Apple.
There she goes.
Oh, Mocap. Basically, we're making those are just animated versions of the document.
Man, why aren't you sleeping?
Well, I took a nap when I got home.
Oh.
I'm pretty much done. So everyone. That's all I do my thing is like if I end up taking a nap for 3 hours, then I just sleep for like two extra hours after I wake up. So it's like I don't know, I'm just weird.
Alrighty then. So.
Before my day at work is done, then fucked. Because I literally died for
Hmm? I think I'm already. Just let me know when you're coming in. I'm already on a full screen.
be right back.
No problem. Did I spell that wrong? I spelled coordinator wrong? No. Okay, that looks like it. That is what?
What happened?
No, I thought I lost a thing to type.
Okay, make us in chat. First was, what do you think gonna happen to Sri Lanka now?
Sri Lanka is going to be an example of. Sri Lanka is going to be an example of when you allow Western entities to dictate your future financially through the IMF and all of these other stuff. For when you default, then you turn into a Uganda through hyperinflation. The good thing about Sri Lanka is that Sri Lanka's people ain't having it, so they're going to clap their own government, and this will set an example of what's to come for all third world countries. Think, hey, listen, we got to follow everything the United States does. Sri Lanka is a good thing. It's a very good thing, because it just goes to show you that, like, the West thinks they have control over these countries, and they don't. They have control over the governments, but they don't control the country. The people that do, and they're gonna find out. They're gonna, as they would say, as Loaded Luck say, you gonna learn today. You gonna get this work. Sri Lanka's getting this work. Don't worry, the BRICS will come in, China and Russia will come in, bail them out. And they'll say, fuck the IMF, and that'll be the end of it. And once that happens, other countries will follow suit. Alethea, as her name implies, loves to learn and explore different things.
it's kind of like Call of Duty's Battle Royale where you get your gun, change your teeth, and blah blah. But then you can do basically fight. You can basically go up inside your mech, your mecha, basically, and use the abilities and just cause mayhem and all that shit.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. That is a fundamental of the group.
That way that muffle before people drink brandy.
I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to look. See, the battery is. I can't use a switch anymore.
I'd swell up, sir.
Yep. I literally can't use a switch. I'm waiting for a battery replacement. So, batteries should come down there. Once it does, then we'll look to replace the batteries. I'll give it to Rion and have him open it and do some surgery on it. I ain't gonna do it. End of the switch. Okay, Apple is a fun-loving Valkyrie of the group. Her positive energy. Others to be themselves and love who they are. She loves to play okay.
There were some Alcatel clubs in the room.
One second. Alcatel plugs, what are you talking
The
about?
bricks.
The bricks are all in the bag. Where the bags are. Where's the bag?
Isn't it?
Well, here's one brick, and I don't know where
That's
the
on
bag.
one. That's on one.
Okay, and then last but not least, this is silver nickel. Oh wow, I don't like that. Oh wow. Of all the girls pearls, I used silver necklace image twice. It's two different image, but it's relatively the same. I used a different image per Valkyrie, but hers was the same. And stated went to sleep, so I can't change it. Alright, let me just. What the hell happened? Come on, man. What are you doing? What are they saying in the chat, if you don't mind me asking? Because I'm over here trying to finalize this shit.
Just some shows came on. I'm pretty much ignoring them. I'm pretty much ignoring them now because I don't know what they're doing.
relatively the same.
No, something like what's up? What's up, Durham? That's the outside the building.
Okay, so Neko's working on that. So now I need a closing for the Valkyrie stuff. So what would a closing be? So for more on the Valkyries, right? Let's see this. What would be the centralized page for everyone to go to regarding the Valkyries on all of their entire social media? I think it should be should it be the TikTok or the Twitter?
Oh,
The main. Okay, hold on. I know what I'm gonna do.
Instagram should be
It should be the Instagram. Okay.
Alright. I'll be able to summon next. Ooh, that's a short one. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Nobody's going to guarantee that. Oh, I got shot!
All right. Let's see what we can do here. So there's TikTok. There's TikTok. The Valkyries have a TikTok, an Instagram, a Twitter, and what else? We can't say YouTube because that's already on your thing. So what would be the fourth thing? TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I guess that would just be it. Yeah, we can just remove the YouTube.
Yeah, but don't open messages.
playing Apex?
No, I'm playing the game I was talking about. It's called Super Mecha something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a battle royale, just like Apex. Apex Mobile, but you just use Super Mech. Best thing was this game give you like 4 Super Mechs for free. Oh shit, gotta hurt my teammates. Ah shit. Oh no. I should have come with some Mad Men to prove that it's gonna come up. Oh god.
Oh, what's going on, Tony? Tony the Tiger says those women are gross. Okay, Tony. I hope you realize. Wait, time out. Oh, there's a whole bunch of funny shit that going on in the room. Yo, what the fuck's going on in the room? Everybody arguing?
Yeah, I saw it once and I blocked. I timed out a couple of people and I was like,
Nah, you
"This is
can't.
crazy."
Guys, stop. No, not that. Thanks for modding the room, but don't let them. I'm gonna tell you why you let these guys say what they gotta say, especially on YouTube. When they say these things, I get to record it, and it further proves my case. Like, these guys are racist and they're just hating for no reason. So let them make their jokes. First of all, you guys, you gotta come up with some new shit. You can't keep saying Jar Jar Binks all the time. Like, you make us know it's the same person with multiple accounts. So please try to be a little bit more creative. Please have some manners, Redwall. Okay, Redwall. Ooh, what's this about? Another pointless stream with another random YouTuber? No, Alex snorts cocaine. What? How you gonna have a name like that, but you ask that question? A lot of trolls coming in tonight. There's a troll Discord for sure. Bro, imagine coming on someone's stream 12 a.m. at night just to hate. That's so sad. Milk Calc is big. This guy has Instagram skanks on his screen. Oh, okay. So then one guy says your mama's a skank. I'll tune in before I go to bed. One troll with multiple accounts. Clearly. The Bob Flexer says Mocats is a monkey. DT says Kisan, another what? Loser mod. Okay. Dude literally has nothing good or fun going on in his life to be doing this. I kind of feel bad for him almost. I don't. I'm glad his mother didn't swallow. That means he has to actually exist to suffer in life. So let me see. Mr. London, real talk. Because he lacks intelligence, why else? Mocats, you just showed everyone how clueless you are. I don't know what that means. Dude on another account trying to compliment himself. Yo, that's how you know you're alone. You make multiple accounts, diss someone, then use the other account to compliment the account that diss someone, so you can clap to yourself. Oh shit. Yes, that's so sad. I wonder if he's gonna get a 3D printer so that he can 3D print an actual hand that's not his own, so he can jerk himself off with the 3D printer, so he can officially say that somebody else jerked him off. Let me see that. Or you could just remove letters from the word like shit of it. I hope you realize no one thinks you're cool or this shit is funny. Bill Fitness rips off clients. What? Zamosa is an African spear chucker. Oh man, these guys. Yo, then she just gets more racist as it goes on. I take that as a compliment. I wish I had more straight Africans in me, to be honest. I find those idiots who waste the time to be pretty entertaining, so I'll humor it for that. Tony the Tiger says those women are gross. So Moses says, what are you even got against trifles anyway? What do you ever do to you? Mocat says, imagine if I actually came and made friends. Okay. So Moses says, yeah, like instead of coming on here praying that you get Triforce mad, how about, oh, that they can't do that. They don't have the power. You'd have to actually be someone of importance to actually get me mad. Good morning, Green. What's up, Mocat Samosa? At least it directs his attention away from you and towards me. Okay, so that was the funny. I missed all of that. My man said African spear chucker. Yo, my man said African spear chucker. That's crazy. This is what we out here doing, dude. This is what we out here doing, chucking spears.
You know, fuck out of here with your useless neck.
You say useless neck?
Yeah, useless neck, because this guy summoned a super mech in front of me when I have an explosive rocket.
My
And I
bad.
just shot him right in the face. Pause. I'm like, really? You shouldn't have done that.
You said, hold that stupid.
Exactly. I was like, come on now. Surely I'll come and say that. So far, I won like 3 country meals in a row.
Alrighty then. So it looks like, okay, so she edited and replaced Kwanai. Let's go, Neko. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. We ain't on no bitch shit. Samosa says, you know how strong you gotta be to chuck spears? Like, goddamn, that's a compliment to me, if anything. To be strong enough to chuck a spear through a person, you got to be diesel, bro. Dude, this shit is a game. You gotta chuck a spear mad hard, B. Let me go grab me something to drink real quick.
Oh shit, is that what you said? Headshot. Yeah. Oh fuck.
Okay. So I put everything in there. Let me send this to Kwanai so she can actually edit this. So this last piece she can edit as well. She'll be done with that, and yeah, she's editing this in real time. bro. Oh, she cleaned up the silver knuckle part. That's what I'm talking about.
Nice, we won.
That's what I'm talking about. We ain't on no bitch shit. Yeet. So she's working on Apple and Alethea, and she's gonna do this part last. For more information on the Valkyries, visit their social media and team brand. Wait, what? I wrote this all wrong. This is just completely wrong. For more on the okay. What? Of Arcadia, visit their team brand social media platforms. There we go. So she gonna fix those up. This is what we're looking at. Now tomorrow, when we head over to producer's house, I have to stop by a print store, get a quote on how much it's gonna cost to make about what? The hell? Oh shit! She can see everything I'm going through. Oh well. Bill Cipher says, look at these moon crickets. I've never heard that insult before. Moon crickets. What the hell is that supposed to mean? They stole it and renamed it Javelin. Bro, Mocat says, bro, chucking spears in a video game be doing the most damage sometimes. These she-baboons afford soap and water. Oh man, that's how you know these guys get no pussy. They get no cheeks whatsoever. The women are not even able to defend themselves, B. Yeah, moon crickets. I'm lost on that one, B. Moon crickets? What's that supposed to mean? Dudes are pulling out ancient racist terminologies, B. Dudes are going old school, B. Before the KKK. Dudes is like, you want to see the ancient level of racism? This is my final form. Ha! They just need the Dragon Ball soundtrack behind it. Bang! The Super Saiyan 3-1. Ah! The more racist they become, the more blonde their hair gets. Like true Super Saiyan. Or some true Super Saiyan shit, B. Uh-oh. Saitama versus Garo Part 3, One Punch Man. What? What? What?
Not already?
Hmm? this is the old someone animated Garo versus Saitama before he became God form. I'm thinking this is like when Garo became God form. Never mind. All right, let's listen to Redacted right now.
So what unfolded just this afternoon in Europe versus Russia is I called it a death blow. I think this really is a death blow to Europe. And frankly, I think honestly, Russia called the EU's bluff on this, which is around cutting off gas prices, right, and capping prices. So basically, the G7 nations were saying to Russia, "Hey, what we want to do is cap the prices of gas, right? We're not going to pay anything more than what we want."
Right,
Or
what
we're
they've
gonna
been
cut it off.
telling them is we're sanctioning you, we don't like you anymore, we are going to stop using your oil, but we need it for now, so we're going to put a cap on the price, right?
Right.
And so within the last few days, the Nord Stream 1 pipeline has been down for scheduled maintenance. In the meantime, Europe kind of freaked out that Russia would not turn this pipeline back on because of the extreme dependency on this pipeline. And now Reuters is reporting that the Russian gas company Gazprom has sent a letter to at least one European market. We are surmising that it's Germany because Germany is the major recipient of this pipeline, and said we declare what's called a force majeure. We no longer have to honor our contract and send you oil at all. We don't like doing business with you. We decide that this is a force majeure ending of the contract. How do you like them apples?
So Gazprom, this is how Zero Hedge reported it. If you want to take my laptop here, Phil. Gazprom reportedly declares force majeure will halt gas flows to Germany indefinitely. Already just days before July 22nd, European Doomsday, when the schedule...
Alright, hold on. I gotta go make me some ramen. This is shit. Damn, Europe's gonna get clapped this winter. Woo! is about. I'm back. Let me see if there's any comments. Kirby, what's going on? It did go down, Mocats. Premium is like 40 cents cheaper now. Nah, more though. Well, I need attention. What? What's going on? Hey, Ziggy Marley, I'm talking to you, boy. Okay. Well, gas got better go down soon because my car only uses premium gas. So. Now let's see what this says. Let's hear the rest of this, guys.
Russian 10-day maintenance of the crucial Nord Stream 2 pipeline is slated to end, but which was thrown into deep doubt given the fact that Gazprom recently said it could no longer guarantee its good functioning. So now this force majeure. Let's talk about what is a force majeure. Basically, well, I want you to give me the definition, but simply put, Gazprom declared extraordinarily and extreme circumstances to void itself from contractual obligations to its customer. Basically, the gas will stop flowing. So already you're seeing companies saying, hey, we're going to have to reduce the amount. You have to turn off the lights.
Yes.
You have to turn off the lights. You have to turn off gas. You can't cook at certain times now.
Well, we saw that just last week. We reported in the newsletter about how a German landlord is saying that you can only put your thermostat to, was it 17 degrees Celsius?
Well, yeah, that would be the cap.
Right, they capped it at nighttime. So I'm sorry if you're cold. These are the conditions under which we will all live this winter. Anyone who lives in this, and this is the biggest property owner in Germany, so anyone who lives in those apartments at night will not be able to spike their thermostat. They better buy extra blankets. So we're seeing real life changes due to our dependency on foreign oil.
So limiting everything from limiting hot water to shutting down swimming pools to, if you think about first world problems, right? Worried about your German swimming pools. There's a lot of other problems in the world, right? To quite literally dimming street lights as it entered alarm stage over this dwindling supply, as Zero Hedge is reported. They've, really taken unprecedented steps in anticipation of enduring Russian gas halt, essentially dimming the lights across the country. And this is going to have dramatic reverberations across Europe and into the United States of America as well. And again, so this sort of dance, right? You're calling Putin's bluff on this. The EU and Ursula von der Leyen are calling Putin's bluff on this. Like, hey, yeah, here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep buying our stuff from you, but we're going to cap it at a certain price, and you will go along with this. Oh, and by the way, you will also use our currency, our euros. Here you go. The Russians are like...
Well, they were buying sort of tokens from Gazprom after
Right.
Russia had decided that Gazprom would only accept money in rubles. But this is really interesting move because who's to stop them from doing this, right?
Who's to stop them?
Who's to stop Russia from saying, well, then we don't honor this business contract anymore,
No,
right? Is there an international... surely within these contracts there is some kind of international court with... There's always some kind of clause in a contract that says if either party fails, this will be litigated where, right? But where are those now neutral places that either of these nations would agree to? Would they even care, right?
Right.
Can they even do this? It's interesting because when you look at what the definition is of a force majeure, it has to be... Can we put it up? I just screenshotted this from Investopedia. Yes, this one here. It says that it needs to be, there are three definitions. It has to be, I'm sorry, I need to start bringing my glasses.
Yeah, good idea.
So irresistible is one of them, meaning you couldn't change it, right? There's no way to stop it. Unforeseeable is another definition of a force majeure. Or external, meaning you could not affect it, right? And so that's the one that I'm kind of hung up on, because for Russia to say, look, the war is a force majeure, it really is, I was going to say, COVID in many cases was considered a force majeure for many business contracts, right?
Right.
Many businesses could not carry out their obligations because COVID came along. A hurricane is a force majeure.
No, I'm telling you, use your mic.
Hey, Snowy, thanks for the stop by, man.
I thought that meant
You're
strap
drifting.
was showing.
She was drifting away from the microphone, and when you drift away from the microphone, you have to
I'm trying to look. Okay, I'm trying to
Snap
look
back.
at you. Anyway.
Yeah, so that you could say, the pandemic was a force majeure. You could say these unbelievable, a tsunami, this is a force majeure.
Yes.
Again, yeah, who's going to stand by and say, but what Russia could say, wait a second, we've told you not to send these long-range weapon systems into Ukraine and to fire upon us, which they've hit these HIMARS that they've been now sending into Ukraine over the past 24 hours, these heavy weapons, right? These long-range heavy weapons that can fire inside of Russia. Russia has said, their state television has said, hey, we have now knocked these out. So stop sending these things, because we're just going to keep blowing them up.
Right,
So,
and we don't want to sell you gas to send those in, right?
Think how ridiculous. I'm trying to think of like like an analogy, like with my family, like how ridiculous this would be, right? Like, okay.
Well, it'd be like giving Cousin Eddie gas, to come back to your house for Christmas.
Right.
Like, no, I'm not going to do that. The
Yes.
National Lampoon.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't, if you don't want that actor to be in a certain place, you don't give him gas money.
Philip, can you think of like a good analogy, or anyone in the chat? Anybody comment,
I
please?
can.
I'm trying to think of like a good analogy.
I actually, I
know what I
brought
mean?
this up in, like several months ago. I brought this up, this analogy, because it is how I see it. It's like why it's so interesting that Europe can tell Russia that we don't want your gas anymore next year, and it's like a bunch of kids. It's a bunch of kids playing ball. Right? They're all playing baseball, but only one kid has a ball, and
Right.
nobody else wants to play with that kid. They're like, hey, you're not allowed to play baseball with us once we get our own baseball, but if you could at least hang around and we could use your ball to play until we get our own baseball, then you're out. You're totally out after that. And that's kind of like a simple analogy for it, but it just blows my mind that once Germany came out and said that, I mean, it was a couple months ago that where Germany came out and said like we are totally going to cut off Russian oil next year.
Right, next
Yeah.
year. But for the meantime, we're going to continue to buy your oil and also send weapons to fire into and kill your citizens as well. Like, we're going to continue to do that. Meanwhile,
Well, we're going to use it, right? We're going to use that gas.
Meanwhile, the International Energy Agency, the IEA, released their report back. You can take my laptop here, Philip. Back in February. This was literally right after the invasion. So they already had this 10-point plan to reduce European Union's reliance on Russian natural gas. So let's go through this 10-point plan. Let's look at what they said back then. Meanwhile, they didn't do any of this, right? No new gas supply contracts with Russia. They still put those gas supply contracts in place. Remember, so van der Leyen even did. Replaced Russian supplies with gas from alternative sources. Did they do that? I don't know.
No.
What else? Introduce minimum gas storage obligations to enhance market resilience. Where's that? Where's the surplus so we can actually make through this winter right now? Accelerate the deployment of new wind and solar projects, because I love how is there any mention, here's some nuclear information. Germany, by the way, cut off and shut down their nuclear power plants, right, just in time, literally just in time as the Ukraine war was starting. Maximize generation from existing dispatchable low-emission sources, bioenergy and nuclear. But you know what? Germany did the exact opposite, which was shut down their nuclear power plants.
At a time when Russia was actually ramping up nuclear production.
Yeah. Enact short-term measures to shelter vulnerable electricity consumers from high prices. Okay. Speed up the replacement of gas boilers with heat pumps. Accelerate energy efficiency improvements in buildings and industry. To accelerate that, get on that, because that's going to that takes like a decade, right, or longer to try to do that. Encourage a temporary thermostat adjustment by consumers. So we're already doing that, and cross-cutting.
I mean, how temporary though, right? Because now it's a necessity. It's not just a sort of weaning ourselves plan. There's nothing there.
Also, how about like tap into our own natural resources? No, we can't do that. Like, that's off the Great Reset agenda now, because the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab have spoken. Like, you can't do that. You can't tap into your own country's natural resources. Oh, and you can't use nuclear energy, which we now know how safe that is, right? So, no, can't do any of that.
So I think this begs an important question for those of us who don't live in Germany is, will these kind of measures come to the West? Will our dependence on whatever energy we're dependent on right now, could that happen here, right? Wherever you are here.
What do you mean by that? I mean, we're already seeing in the United States a total collapse. Like, we're literally sitting on mountains of resources that we're not using.
Yes,
right?
mate.
And instead, President Biden flying to Saudi Arabia doing this ridiculous dance with a known killer, basically, ordering the death of, I mean, think about the thousands of people in Yemen and Syria, and Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, like literally going there and bowing down and bending the knee with the Saudi prince and the Saudi regime, begging for oil at a time when you literally are sitting on mountains of oil in the United States of America.
Right. I guess I wasn't specifically asking about oil, but any resource, right? Any resource that we're used to. We continue to be warned about grains and oil, cooking oil, as well as gasoline. And so if this could happen in Germany, which is just known as, I'm sorry to use this expression, this is what comes to mind, a well-oiled machine, right? Then can it happen anywhere where you will then, wherever you live, capped at your ability to heat or cool your house during extreme temperatures, or what you can buy, or where, yes, the pools you can swim in, or anything like that. Is this coming for all of us?
Yeah, I mean, look, people are saying right now in our chat. Let us know. I mean, Sri Lanka, right?
Yes.
Ireland. This is going to
keep listening.
It's going to happen all over the place,
yes.
Right? Let's talk about President Biden's Saudi Arabia trip, right? His trip there to get Saudi oil. That was the whole point, right? Was to go there and ask them to increase capacity, lower prices, get us oil, right? That was the fist bump heard around the world right there. Of course, when they did that fist bump, by the way, the Saudi press office was the one that released that fist bump photo. They pushed that thing out as quickly as they could. And so that fist bump boom moment was because of the Saudi office pushing that out. So his Saudi trip was a disaster. It yielded no oil and no push to end the conflict in Yemen. Here's the fist bump again. Let's watch this. Photos there. They made sure that was perfectly staged to send out. So, and the Saudis couldn't. The Saudis came out and said we can't expand. Right? They already said that we have no capacity. Right? Saudi Arabia cannot expand oil production beyond 13 million BPD.
Well, because this is already an agreed upon number with OPEC. They could, right, with OPEC, but they've decided not to, and they don't want to tap into their profit margin.
Well, let's go through this article, shall we?
Okay, go through the article.
Put it back up on the screen. Sorry.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, I thought you were going to go through it. So go through it here. Let's take a look at this. Right? Saudi Arabia will not have any additional capacity. So they have this 1 million additional that they can work on by the year 2027, but that's going to take a while. Like, they are not ready for it. And they have this agreed upon price tag. They are not moving forward on it in any kind of capacity. And this is where we're stuck. Rand Paul tweeted about this. He thought it was a disaster to go into Saudi Arabia. Here was Rand Paul saying this: Saudi Arabia disregards basic human rights, slaughters innocents in Yemen, horrifically murders dissidents, puts millions on the edge of starvation, and supports and strengthens our enemies. He goes on to say, yet Biden kowtows to them to try and fix a crisis of his making instead of changing policies here at home to fix domestic oil production. And then he goes on to say, how many uncontested arms sales are they going to get out of this? How many more lives in Yemen will it cost? You could also mention Syria, and just to appear as if he's helping. And literally on the same day that this happened, I didn't put it in the show, but there trailer after trailer after trailer of oil leaving Syrian oil fields. The very same Syrian oil fields that the United States lies about, pretends that they are there simply guarding. That's what they say publicly, that the United States has 2,000 troops just guarding those oil fields so that they're protected for the Syrian people, which the Syrian people don't get access to, that the United States steals the oil and then drives it out of there. That's what happened over the weekend. Literally, semi-truck after semi-truck after semi-truck leaving these oil fields to ship oil where? Who knows where. We're probably selling it. It'll be amazing to see if it winds up in the United States, but we literally go into Syria and steal their oil.
That's
well,
crazy.
The White House is doing a victory lap about this trip to the Middle East, though, saying that it actually brokered ties between Saudi Arabia and Israel, opened up airspace that wasn't open before. So I guess that was important.
Good.
Who had that on their wish list, on their 2022 goals?
So it flies Air Force One 7,000-mile jet trip to beg Saudi Arabia for more oil capacity, when at the very same time the West is putting draconian sanctions on Russia, driving up the cost of everything,
yes.
right? Ruining the economy back home, but flying to Saudi Arabia to kiss the hand.
And setting the example for the rest of the West that does what the United States wants, right? So the EU and the UK now considering putting more sanctions on Russia because that seems to be going so well for them, this time on gold. They're meeting today. We'll know what that meeting results in short order. But at the same time, it's interesting that the sanctions just keep piling on, and it's having absolutely the boomerang effect of harming the citizens of the countries that are doing it.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit more on that. So yeah, the EU is meeting this afternoon. They have this discussion. Tomorrow we might learn whether or not they add additional sanctions against Russia. So today was just the discussion phase of
yes.
it on Russian gold and
yes.
additional sanctions. It's done nothing. It's done nothing. What's happened? The value of the ruble has gone up, right? If anything, we've seen the fracturing of this liberal world order, and these globalists we've seen the uprisings in the Netherlands,
yeah.
Sri Lanka, Albania, seeing it in Panama now, seeing it all over the world. I mean, when are they going to learn their lesson? And so then you see what's happening in Russia, and you see that their economy is doing well. You see that they have made significant ties now in areas maybe that hadn't fully solidified before, with India and China.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a reordering of deck chairs on the Titanic at this stage.
Yes, I mean, it feels like that. So, and I'm watching headlines today of CNBC and Wall Street Journal saying that the dollar is so strong right now, but it's really not. It's just that most Western currencies are down and the dollar is sucking the loose, right? So we're calling this we're patting ourselves on the back.
Right.
For winning the losing race, and I find that very interesting when you look at sort of Eastern markets that are not suffering from these government crises,
well,
government made crises.
Well, and you think about the way in which their currencies are tied to actual physical things like gold. Russia has as close an economy tied to gold as any major government currency does Russia. And think about as a gold standard, right? So the United States doesn't, right? We were taken off the gold standard in the 1970s under Nixon. Russia is as close to a gold standard, while not actually technically on a gold standard, but it really is almost a ruble to gold scenario in Russia. Why do you think they've been buying up so much gold? Why do you think that China has been hoarding as much gold as it can get its hands on, right? So again, you have these currencies and these economies that in many ways are tied to physical precious metals and other things like that, while the United States is on thin air, $30 trillion in debt. Thank you so much for subscribing to our channel. We've been banned, we've been blocked, we've been censored. That's why we started our own website, to stay connected with you for free.
That's right. So head on over to redacted.inc and make sure you're connected with us. You can sign up again at redacted.inc, not .com.
A lot of money went down the drain, especially that 48 billion that Ukraine sent to Ukraine.
That's crazy, dude. Random on accident. They thought it was on purpose. We saved the first brochure. Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me go check on these Roman. that doesn't make any sense, Bill. If you know nothing about, I literally have control over this board. Oh wait, oh, sorry. Beta is a general term, like what geek, like the dweebs. Bill, if you know nothing, if you know nothing of Negro content, why are you on it? Are you trying to learn? If you're not trying to learn, this is illogical. Why would you consume content you're not interested in learning? In fact, it is trolling. I don't get it. What happens to Germany with Russian natural gas cut off? That's a good topic. All right, Tucker Carlson. That's too long. Putin to embark on his first foreign trip to Iran, war in Ukraine in 2015 nuclear deal. All right, let's hear what. Listen to this.
Our top focus at this hour, Russian President Vladimir Putin is all set to visit Iran today as his war in Ukraine continues and the divide between Moscow and the West deepens. This is Putin's first foreign trip since the invasion began back in February and comes just 3 days after US President Joe Biden finished a visit to Saudi Arabia. By heading to Iran for his first major overseas trip, Putin is sending a clear message to the West. Russia will seek to build ties with Iran, who has been a foe of the US since the 1979 revolution. On Monday, Russian President Vladimir Putin said that it would be impossible to cut Russia off from the rest of the world. Listen.
Ясно, что мы не можем оторванно от всего мира развиваться. Но так и не будет. В современном мире невозможно вот так все, знаете, циркулем ввести и выставить огромный забор. Это просто невозможно.
In Tehran, Putin is scheduled to meet his counterpart Ibrahim Raisi today itself. He'll also meet with Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Russia and Iran have grown closer since the West started isolating Moscow over its invasion. The Kremlin says a trusting dialogue has developed with Iran on most important issues, where the positions are either close or identical. For Iran, ties with Russia is the way to balance the clout of the United States and its alliances across the Gulf with Arab rulers and Israel. Iran is also betting that with Russia's support, it could pressure Washington to offer concessions, reviving the 2015 nuclear deal. Putin's visit will coincide with one by Turkey's Tayyip Erdogan. The leaders are set to discuss a deal aimed at resuming Ukraine's Black Sea grain exports and Erdogan's threat to launch another operation in northern Syria, which Moscow opposes. In Syria, Russia and Iran prevailed in their support for President Bashar al-Assad against the West, which called repeatedly for him to be toppled since the Syrian civil war began in the year 2011.
به جای توسل به جنگ و آوارگی بیشتر موج جدیدی از مردم سوریه بتوانیم از مسیر سیاسی حل و فصل این موضوع هم کمک بکنیم. در این حال مسئله بازگشت آوارگان سوری به منازلشون و به شهرهای خودشون، مسئله کمک به صلح و ثبات و امنیت در سوریه از جمله موضوعاتی است که در دستور کار این نشست سه‌جانبه قرار دارد.
Now Russia, Ukraine, Turkey.
Let me pause out. Let me see what's being said in here. Oh. Back to my question. If I donate $500, I could nut on these black chicks' ears? No. couldn't, even if you had $1 million, because they're not attracted to you. Number two, you don't need your money. Do you not see the amount of money that's on the screen right now? Like, that's about, what is that? 3 to 5. There's about $6,000 on the screen right now. Why do you need your money? Go give that money to Amaranth and go nut on her face. Fan is too loud. Sorry about that. Can't do anything about it. We need these fans in there. It's too hot in Jamaica. I do like fruit. Yeah, I'll give you that. Probably stuff like apples, grapes. Saying another man's energy tastes good. Fruit? What? Oh, Cypher. You're one of the Neanderthals. You don't know what energy means. Okay. Come on, bro. You need every cent else you can get. I don't think you understand. There are companies that offer us money, but they want to control us. But we don't use those companies. That's why 6 of the 8 sponsors we've gone out to backed off, because they can't buy us. We want to work with them, but we don't need to work with them. The Empire and the Valkyries have a strong enough community that can crowdfund on its own. It's an indie organization. We don't need sponsors. We do it ourselves, as you see us doing right now. Oh, I know Zomos, I know. I can come on the stream and shit like that. Hey, Princess, let me give some props out to by panhandling. Well, you call it panhandling, we call it crowdfunding. See, panhandling is when you beg money for yourself to go do luxury things, or let's do it for this thing, things for yourself. Crowdfunding is when you target a particular group of people, and you're asking them for their contribution and support for a project that you're doing. They like your support. They like what your project is, and of their own volition, they donate. When you're begging, you're not asking for a donation. You're requesting money from somebody directly. That you go around and you go, excuse me, like for instance, Sal, you're here. I didn't ask you for $1. I didn't say, hey, can you donate? It's about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm streaming. I'm working on some of the stuff for the Valkyries, and I put a thing. It says support the Valkyries invasion of Anime Confest with a donation. So if you want to support what the Valkyries are trying to do for Anime Com, you'll donate. If not, okay, we don't need the money. Begging is something that you beg for because you need it, or you can want it, but like we don't need it in that. Say if someone doesn't, if we don't make enough money, it's not like we're gonna die or we're gonna go homeless. We just don't have anime come. But I understand how racist you are. See, when white people come on YouTube, Twitch, or any other platform, and they say, hey, donate for me so I can go out with my girlfriends and go have a great time and buy new jewelry and clothes and stuff like that, that's them enjoying their life. But when black people say, hey, listen, if you support a particular cause that we're doing or whatever, it's begging and panhandling. And it's really tiring. Begging for pennies online. Do you have any credentials? I actually do have credentials, but you don't know what they are. I've worked with Nintendo as a corporation. I've worked with Microsoft. I've worked with MTV. I've worked with a lot of companies. I've worked with the largest telecommunication provider here in Jamaica. I work with a television station. I work with a couple of mobile companies. I work with the largest telecom company in all of Africa, MTN. There's a lot of things I've done. But you don't have any credentials. That's why you're watching me and I'm not watching you. You're a ghost. I have no idea who you are. I don't know what your channel is. Even if I did, I wouldn't watch it. But you're here to do the job that you're not getting paid for. Engaging in the content that is on this channel. And I thank you for that. For working for free. You got any white girls in the group? No, we don't. Now that's real content. Well, if you're looking for white girls, I don't know why you're here. Because we don't have any white girls. So, I don't know if you're mentally unstable or whatever, but like, we don't have white girls, so like, why are you here? Anyway, let me give a special thanks. I want to give a special thanks for tonight's contributors, supporters. Give me 1 second. Yeah, who donated today? We'll go with the first one.
Arias has just donated $10. Hi Triforce. Watched you before, but I've recently been watching some of your creations and come to understand your mission and its importance. I hope this helps. Much love. Smiley face.
See? Arias donated $10 because, like you said, watched you before, but I've recently watched some of your creations and come to understand what the mission and its importance. You unfortunately do not have the you don't have the acumen or the intelligence or the comprehensive ability to understand what is it that we actually do. That is why you're here to make fun. Your brain is so smooth it can't grasp the concepts of what we're trying to do. So to make up for your lack of an ability to grasp these concepts, you try to make fun of people and what we do, so you can laugh at your own joke that no one else is laughing at, like you're the only person in the room laughing. 2:11 in the morning, or and if you're on the East Coast, 3:11 in the morning, which is worse. So yeah, who's the next person that donated? Let's take a look.
You have served me well, my Einherjar. X-Moon Razor X has just donated $20. Triforce, World Newscaster.
And see, at night, when I'm streaming, I watch things of importance to the world, like world news. And then I'm able to break down the comprehension of what the news is given to give people contextual understanding of what's going on in the news in the world, so they can enjoy themselves and also be informed. I just had some vegetable ramen. Raw onions, raw cucumber, raw pepper. Well, bell pepper, not hot. That was good. Late night for all the college students out there. Shout out to you guys. Y'all know what the grind is. Working late at night, got that bowl of ramen. You hungry? You eating the ramen, and when you're done with the ramen, you put your finger in the bowl. You scrape out the excrements. That's the ramen packed sauce that's been caked into the powder, and makes the sauce. And you go. Anybody who knows about late night work, they know what the grind is like. All right, so who's our last donator for the night?
You have served me well, my Einherjar. Red Scarlet has just donated $10. Wasn't able to support before, but now I can.
See, here's a person who always wanted to support the Empire, Valkyries, and all of our projects. Was never able to do it then, but they're able to do it now. And see, and these people have chipped in the bits and pieces that they can to help make up their $4,800 that you see there for the Valkyrie project. And anybody tonight that would like to make a donation to contribute, our goal was to try to make $100 tonight. We only made 40 tonight. $10 more, at least we can make half that goal tonight. And tomorrow I'll be back on the grind. I'm gonna be up about 1 more hour. So anybody wants to drop a 10, let me know. I'll drop the link in the chat. Let me go over to that chat. No wonder y'all fiending for every cent. What? Let's read what he has said. Like a college degree or trade diploma or anything. Actually, yes, I actually have a, well, no, I don't have a degree in sociology, but I did take it up. But I'm an entrepreneur in the true sense of the word. And you asking for like trade diplomas or anything like that, stupid. That's like asking Bill Gates for a trade diploma. Like the greatest criminals in the world don't have anything. You got, okay, I already read that. That's real content. Mid-40s talking about smelling farts. Yeah, just go to Twitch, my guy. Yeah, go to Just Chatting. See all the Beckys you can ask for. And the Karens. No wonder y'all feeling you dying out, my boy. Alright, so what did he say here? She baboons let anybody not in them. Whoa. Sweat. Actually, that was good. Yeah, he collected enough cans to donate. Oh, so now you're going to diss the people who donated? Well, here's a live donation that just came in.
Samosa has just donated $10. Now I see what you gotta tolerate on some nights. Have this on the way out.
Thank you, Samosa. I appreciate the $10 donation. Bro, it's like this every night. And when we were on Twitch, it was worse. That's why I never liked Twitch to begin with. That's why I just stay on YouTube. Like YouTube wasn't never this bad until like recent. I guess the guys see what's going on with the Valkyries and they don't like it. So now they're like, damn, they're not on Twitch anymore. All right, let's go to YouTube and attack them. The best part about YouTube is this. They can't attack us the same way they attack us on Twitch. So you go on Twitch, you can just report the channel, and then the channel just gets terminated or suspended or whatever by a bot. If they do this to YouTube, all YouTube does is, first this is a stream, so it's not a actual, they won't stop the channel. They'll stop the stream and say that the stream has been stopped or cut or whatever, but this is a late night stream, so I don't care. And then they'll send you a message and you can appeal it. Then you can hit up YouTube and Twitter and say someone stopped the stream, blah blah blah. Look at the timestamp. You can give them the timestamp of it. They'll look back at it, and the person who reports it, they track the IP of that address and permaban that person off of YouTube for sending them a false report. So that's why all they can do is just come in the chat and just say negative stuff, because there's an actual punishment if they get caught for false attacking a channel. On Twitch, there is no such thing on Twitch, and it's designed that way because none of these guys will report their white girls. They will say nothing to them. In fact, they'll defend the white girls. Number two, most of the white girls know most of the guys on Twitch or someone in Twitch that works there, because you know they usually have a big orgy going on at TwitchCon and stuff like that. So all the white girls got to do what they got to do to stay in good standings with whatever. So they got a Twitch rep on standby. So if anything happens to their channel, they can call, that guy goes in, blah, blah, blah. The black girls that this guy's insinuating is going around giving out their pum pum for free, whatever. They don't get that because they don't go around and blowing Twitch mods off or admins off or whatever. So anyone that reports them, that's it. The channel's gone. So they can't do that nonsense over here on YouTube because YouTube doesn't allow. YouTube has at least, you know, a lot better, what's the word for this? They're a lot more professional, so to speak. So they don't like that. So it pisses them off. In fact, you donating that money right now probably made this guy punch a hole through his teeth, his PC screen. So he's replacing it right now with the one that's in his mother's room. So while he's replacing that, so he can type something back, he's probably mad, gnashing away because he made a $50 goal. Let me go put this in the sink and I'll come back right back. One moment. Damn. Yo, Bill, you need to hurry up, B. Like, I went in the kitchen, dropped off the stuff, came back with orange juice, and you have yet to, like, hook up your new monitor? You falling off, my boy. So I'm working on a secret editing that I can't show anyone, so sorry I can't show you guys anything right now, but I'm working on some secret editing thing. And I'm gonna listen to some world news, do about an hour more. You guys let me know what the deal is. Let's finish listening to some work here.
And the United Nations are expected to sign a deal later this week aimed at resuming the shipping of grain from Ukraine across the Black Sea.
Swipe that juice from a convenience store.
The U.S. president had
actually,
big objectives when he left the U.S.
From the supermarket.
Number one, get Saudi Arabia to increase oil production. Number two, set the
glad you got your
Saudi Arabia and Israel
computer screen up. That's ironic because you hate Triforce so much, yet you indirectly making them more money.
How many Biden?
Yeah.
None. 0 out of 3. Let's start with the oil. On Saturday, Biden met with the Gulf state leaders. He wanted all of them to produce more oil to bring down crude prices globally. And no surprise, they refused. There was no agreement to increase oil production by any Gulf state. The only announcement came from Saudi Arabia. They agreed to increase their output to 30 million barrels per day. Here's the interesting part. This announcement is not new. Saudi Arabia said the same thing back in May 2022 plus. The output is not increasing overnight. It will happen only by 2027, another 5 years. So naturally, the oil market has cooled. Crude prices are up 2%. It is trading at around, $103 per barrel. Compare that to last week. Before Biden's visit, oil was below $100. Now it is $103. What does that mean? It means Biden's West Asian diplomacy achieved nothing. In fact, it made things worse. Objective number 2, bringing Israel and Saudi Arabia closer. On this, it seems like Biden was making some progress. First, the Saudis opened their airspace to Israeli planes. Then Biden himself took a historic flight. He flew directly from Tel Aviv to Jeddah. New speculation. U.S. experts were predicting a normalization deal, even a possible military alliance. But the moment Biden departed for Washington, Saudi Arabia released this message.
No, there are... nothing to do with diplomatic ties with Israel. The issue of overflights is a decision we took based on our commitments under the Chicago Protocols and also in the interest of providing connectivity between countries in the world.
بدعوة تلقاها العراق.
These rumors are untrue and imprecise, and there is no agenda other than coordination and cooperation on the issues we discussed. Iraq has not and will not be, neither today nor tomorrow, in any military axis or alliance.
وجمهورية مصر العربية.
What does this tell you? Two things. A, the US and West Asia are not on the same page, and B, America's influence is waning.
I don't
Think
know,
about
man.
it.
Where else
20
do
years back, the
people buy
US was
juice?
toppling regimes in West Asia. Now they can't even increase oil production. And this boils down to leverage. Joe Biden does not have any. I'll give you an example. These pictures are from Saturday. You see those explosions? They're Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strip. Where was Biden when all of this happened? He was right next door in Jeddah. These airstrikes happened just hours after Joe Biden flew out of Israel. Clearly not much respect for the superpower here. Objective number 3 met a similar end, the so-called reset with Saudi Arabia. It depended on two factors. How would Biden engage with Crown Prince MBS, and how would he address the Khashoggi murder? As it turned out, Biden made a meal of it. He greeted MBS with a fist bump, no handshake, no big hug, just a damn informal fist bump. But even that has raised eyebrows. Biden had promised to make Saudi Arabia a pariah, remember. He wanted to sideline Crown Prince MBS, but now, here we are. That same Biden is fist bumping MBS. And the drama did not end there. Biden says he raised the issue of Khashoggi's murder with Mohammed bin Salman, and that too right when the meeting started.
With respect to the murder of Khashoggi, I raised it at the top of the meeting, making it clear what I thought of it at the time and what I think of it now. I said very straightforwardly, for an American president to be silent on an issue of human rights is this inconsistent with who we are and who I am.
Biden spent 2 days wooing Gulf officials. He fist bumped the man he promised to make a pariah, and now he's preaching human rights. Now don't get me wrong, the sentiment is absolutely right, but perhaps a bit rich coming from the United States of America. It's something that the Crown Prince did point out.
His Royal Highness also mentioned to the President that mistakes like this happen in other countries, and we saw a mistake like this being committed by the United States in Abu Ghraib, and that the United States took steps in order to deal with those who are found guilty and to ensure that mechanisms are put in place to prevent this from happening again.
Saudi Arabia is calling out America's human rights record, subtle but effective. Biden's entire trip was one setback after another. He wanted more oil. Instead, crude prices are up 2%. He wanted to raise human rights. Instead, he got a lecture from MBS. And don't forget the domestic impact of these failures. The higher oil prices will hurt his party, the Democrats, in the midterm elections coming up later this year. Also, Biden's meeting with MBS is costing crucial support. Some Democrats say he abandoned his principles. Brings us back to Biden's underwhelming return to Washington, D.C. No hero's welcome, no grand ceremony. Maybe he was better off staying in the White House. At least then, oil was cheaper. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.
This guy got clapped.
Welcome to the United Nations Ocean Conference. I invite to the stage the Honorable Mayor of Lisbon, Mr. Carlos Moedas, to deliver welcoming remarks on behalf of the city of Lisbon. The floor is yours.
Berserk Saga. 21 hours of the manga. That's crazy.
The war in Ukraine is in its 5th month. War fatigue has been mounting, but in Europe the signs of distress have been multiplying. The euro has plummeted to a 20-year low against the dollar. Recession predictions are on the rise. Food banks are feeding more and more people, and countries are turning down air conditioning. These are all signs of how the Kremlin has provoked an energy crisis across Europe. Europe depends on Moscow for natural gas. The Kremlin is now gradually choking off the same gas that keeps the industry working. Europe's most pressing challenge right now is to battle record inflation and get through the winter season without crippling energy shortages. Higher energy prices are already flowing through to factories, food costs, and fuel tanks. For the energy-intensive industries, the future is uncertain. They could face natural gas rationing to protect home if the crisis worsens. The economic woes also reflecting on the dinner table. For example, a typical Italian family is spending €681 more this year to feed themselves. The French President Emmanuel Macron says the government aims to conserve energy. The plan is to switch off public lights at night and take other steps. Similarly, German officials are begging the people and businesses to save energy. They are ordering lower heat and air conditioning settings in public buildings. The scenario looks bleak for Europe, but for Russia, things look much better for now. High energy costs fueled by the war are benefiting Moscow. Russia has stabilized its ruble exchange rate through government intervention. As for Russian oil, it is finding more buyers in Asia, even if it is at discounted prices. Currently, there is no imminent sense of crisis in Moscow. Living with sanctions for years means that the Kremlin has built a fortress economy. It has kept debt low and pushed companies to source from within Russia. But economists say the current picture is misleading, because Russia's ironclad measures could be detrimental in the long term. A sign of this is Russia defaulting on its foreign debt payments for the first time in more than a century. The annual inflation rate in June was 15.9%. The retail trade is set to fall by 8% this year. Car sales fell by 83.5% in May. Now, the official forecast of fall in the GDP is 7.8%, but the unofficial forecast stands at around 30%. Since the war, Moscow has prevented money from leaving the country. It has also forced the exporters to exchange most of their foreign earnings into rubles. These measures have rigged the exchange rate. The inflation rate too has partially lost its meaning. It does not account for disappearing Western goods, and also lower inflation probably reflects plummeting demand. So while Europe's problems may be short-term, Russia could face challenges in the future. Joining us on the broadcast from London is Greg Swenson. He is the founding partner of Brit McAdam, which is a merchant banking firm. Greg, good to have you with us. How do you see the economic fallout of this war impacting Russia and the West in the long term?
Yeah, the long term is the real question. Great question. And I think ultimately the Russian economy will suffer because I don't think that they can really last for a long period of time. And this might be a replay of the 80s where the U.S. economy grew exponentially. And that's really how the Cold War was won, by growing the economy. But it's the short term that I think most people in the West are worried about. Now, as you mentioned in your report, the ruble has stabilized. The capital controls that Putin and the Russians put in place have actually worked. In January, you could buy 80 So he's actually crafted a pretty good, I think they were prepared for this. And with the capital controls raising interest rates to 20%, for example, it's definitely stabilized the ruble. The question is, with a strong ruble, will that hurt exporters to friendly countries? They are selling commodities at higher prices. Obviously, with oil hovering around 100, a stronger ruble is actually okay because it's offset by the higher oil prices. So, look, I don't know how long it will take, but the sanctions are not as effective as the West had hoped because he still has friends. He's using food as a weapon. He's weaponized both energy security, which you mentioned, as well as food security. So, you have countries like Indonesia and Egypt and Pakistan and Bangladesh, Morocco, that did not vote for any of the resolutions in the UN. And so they do have some friends, and maybe they're not real friends, but when you're weaponizing food and energy, I think it gives them some control. And now you have the crisis with Nord Stream and cutting off natural gas exports to Western Europe. And it's so in the long run, I'm confident that the West can sort of win this Cold War, but it's going to have to be
You're this guy's.
Policy changes. The energy policy.
This guy's going ham inside the chat, boy. He getting tight.
The energy policy in the U.S. has also been a disaster. So until the West, especially the U.S., until the Biden administration was the world's leading energy producer and had achieved energy independence, until those policies are changed and allow the U.S. to once again become the world's biggest producer, then I don't.
I'll be back next week. You're gonna get exposed.
With Russia, energy security is really national security, and we're seeing that now with what Europe is going to.
I know it's supposed to say he's literally texting to himself. This is the funny part of the text. He says he says I'm expose you the next stream, and then sends insults after that. Like, I thought you was gonna expose me the next stream. Then he creates other accounts to come in and support him with just more insults.
Yeah, I mean, look, that obviously wasn't good news, but again, because they're isolated, or he's allowed himself to be isolated from the West, I'm not sure that really matters, and again, when they defaulted, the ruble was having real difficulty.
Yeah, legendary Prince.
So,
they're definitely on drugs.
Russia's not coming to the
These guys are going ham.
But I think they prepared for that by buying friendly currencies to manage some of their own currency risk. They bought a lot of gold, they stashed a lot of U.S. dollars away. So, Putin prepared for this. I don't think he expected the unified reaction and solidarity in Western Europe and the U.S., but I do think that because the rest of the world hasn't really cooperated with the sanctions, it's definitely a relief to Putin. And as you pointed out, he's continued to sell oil. The Europeans were paying Putin $1 billion a day at the beginning of the war. Now he's cut back on deliveries to Western Europe. It's put them in a really difficult position. Germany especially, whose industry is going to be really hurt by this. You mentioned Macron in France asking people to black out or to turn lights out, or asking the utility to do that. That's not a good sign. Obviously, France is in a better situation because they have nuclear energy. In fact, they're exporting energy to the UK. So, look, I think in the near term, this has turned out a lot better for Russia than the West expected. The long term, I think ultimately the West will win, but it's only when they clean up and fix the energy policy in Western Europe to a more realistic policy, and then the U.S. got to change, hopefully after the midterms, but definitely after the election in 24.
Greg, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast and sharing those insights.
Thanks, Molly. Good to be here.
We are now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.
We have 2 aircraft carriers, more than 15 U-type and destroyer and frigates, and more than 15 in the ocean-going and the UK and the
this is just sad now. Yeah, it is sad, but it is funny though. The guy clearly, like, most people who are up this late at night are either watching news, working, burning the midnight oil with their girl in bed. Like, see, my wife is right here laying down. But this guy wants to spend his nights insulting me and entertaining us. Well, you have to appreciate that though, because you get tired at night when you're working and you need to be entertained. So he's doing his job. And the part about him that I like the most is that even when you ignore him, he continues to do the job. So you can just every now check in what he does, laugh at him, not laugh with him, laugh at him, and then go back to doing your work. Downing Street, nope, don't care about that. Now, yeah, let's go with this.
Bill McKibben, I also want to ask you about the scorching heat wave that continues to fuel wildfires across southern Europe and parts of North Africa and France. Thousands have been forced to evacuate fires that have scorched over 22,000 acres. Meanwhile, the governments of Spain and Portugal said hundreds of people died from heat-related causes during the second week of July. In the United Kingdom, the British government has issued its first ever red extreme heat national severe weather warning, with forecasters predicting high temperatures will top 40 degrees Celsius, 105 degrees Fahrenheit for the first time ever.
I'm going to sleep shortly, about 15 more minutes.
Last week, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin told Democratic leaders on Capitol Hill he will not support legislation to combat the climate emergency or any tax increases on the wealthy and large corporations. The youth-led climate justice group Sunrise Movement called Manchin's decision nothing short of a death sentence. And you tweeted in response, Manchin's taken more money from the fossil fuel industry than anyone else in D.C. The return on that investment has been enormous. Big oil got its money worth 1,000 times over. Talk more about what's happening in the world with these scorching heat waves and what the U.S. is not doing about it.
Well, let's talk first about the heat. Britain has the longest temperature record in the world. People have been looking at thermometers there longer than they have any other part of the planet. And the temperatures we're seeing today and tomorrow in Britain are going to smash those records. Not even just beat them by a tenth of a degree, but by a full 1 or 2 degrees Celsius, 3 or 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Heck,
scariest thing is we're in the middle of a La Nina, a cold cycle on this planet. As you know, we break new global temperature records normally when we're in an El Nino phase in the Pacific. But June last month was the hottest June ever recorded on Earth. When we next have an El Nino, the numbers are going to be just completely off the charts. This is very, very scary. And what makes it scarier, as you point out, is the lack of a real political response from most places around the world, the U.S. in particular. Joe Manchin choosing this moment to sabotage finally the climate legislation that the president had put forward is particularly wrong. This is the third time in the last 30 years that the U.S. Congress has considered serious climate legislation. The Kyoto stuff back in the 1990s, the cap and trade stuff in 2009, 2010, and now this Build Back Better bill that groups like the Sunrise Movement have fought for years to get through. I'm afraid that in retrospect, it's pretty clear Manchin was going to do this all along. You remember that leaked, secret, hidden videotape that came out last year where Exxon's chief lobbyist described Manchin as their kingmaker and said that they met with him every week to discuss policy. It's pretty clear how those meetings have been going. He's played this very well by stringing it out all these many months, 18 months. He's kept the Biden administration from being able to take executive action for fear of offending him. It's appalling, but it's not unexpected. It's why we have to keep building movements bigger. We need more pressure on this system in order to make change, or we're going to be stuck just where we are. The one upside, we know, and we get more confirmation with each passing week, that renewable energy is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. There was an auction last week in the United Kingdom for new tenders for electricity provision, and the cost of offshore wind was coming in at 1/4 the price of burning gas to produce electricity. We can do this. We can get out of a world where we have to go kowtow, fist bump the idiot king of Saudi Arabia. We can do it, but only if we're willing to make the effort that Joe Manchin has kept us from making this week.
Let's name some names. I'm looking at a Politico piece that talks about where Senator Manchin, who chairs the Senate Energy Committee, the top recipient of oil and gas funds, gets his money. Last quarter's campaign finance data shows the trend is continuing. The senator received donations from executives at Georgia Power, including utilities CFO Aaron Abramovitz, from Dominion Energy CEO Robert Blue, energy services firm Concord Energy CEO Matthew Flavin, gave Manchin the maximum allowable amount of $5,800, as did Southern Company Gas CEO Kim Green, Harvest Midstream CEO Jason Redbrook. Southern Company's chair and CEO Chris Comiskey gave Manchin $2,000, while 3 other company executives gave him at least $1,000. In-house lobbyists for the company donated $1,000 as well. Carol Moriarty, president of Alaska Oil and Gas Association, gave $1,000 too, along with 2 executives from the energy storage company Form Energy. And it goes on. Manchin also took in more than $19,000 from political action committees belonging to fossil fuel or energy companies and their trade groups, including the Coterra Energy, NextEra Energy, North American Coal Corporation, American Exploration Production Council's PAC, the PACs for private equity giant, the Carlyle Group, AT&T contributed $10,000 and $5,000 respectively. Your response, Bill?
You know what's pathetic? It's pathetic how cheap it is to buy these guys. So, for a few $100,000, you can afford a senator, and he is able to put the kibosh on hundreds of billions of dollars in renewable energy spending. The list you just read is a list of all the people who don't want the status quo to change. We want to slow down that change as much as they can. That's what they're paying for, and that's what they got, man. This was money well spent from their point of view.
Antonio Guterres said today, the UN Secretary General, half of humanity is in the danger zone from floods, droughts, extreme storms, and wildfires. No nation is immune, yet we continue to feed our fossil fuel addiction. We have a choice, collective action or collective suicide. It is in McKibben, your final comments on this.
Guterres has actually been a hero, and he's exactly right. And it's not that hard. Look, there's 4 big banks that are the big funders to the fossil fuel industry. They're all American. That's why in Third Act, we're working so hard to try and cut off that flow of funding to the fossil fuel industry. There's a handful of people who are keeping us on a path towards existential destruction, and we have got to stand up to them, and we've got to do it now.
Your final comment about Saudi Arabia and other countries the U.S. is relying on to increase oil production, when in fact actually now gas prices are dropping, but more importantly, it looks like these oil companies, while people think it's because there's a lack of oil and gas, it's that they're using this moment, this opportunity, this war in Ukraine, these corporations to gouge consumers and are making more than they ever have in their history.
If you don't like the oil companies, and man, you should not like the oil companies. If you don't like the Saudis, and I sure don't, e-bikes, e-buses, electric vehicles, the day that we've got a bunch of them on the road is the day that we can tell these guys to go take a jump in the lake.
Heat waves are sweeping across the northern hemisphere. With them come more severe and long-lasting wildfires. Is this all down to climate change, and is it too late to do anything about it? This is Inside Story. Hello, welcome to the program. I'm Bernard. Europe, North America and China are baking in record-breaking heat waves. In Delhi, in India, it's already hit 49 degrees this year, 12 above the average. The heat has brought wildfires, particularly to Western Europe, forcing thousands of people from their homes. In the UK, people are bracing for temperatures to hit 40 degrees Celsius for the first time. The nation's weather office issued its first ever red alert for extreme heat. The scorching weather is fueling more than 30 blazes in Spain and Portugal. Thousands of people have been forced from their homes and are seeking refuge in makeshift shelters. Drought conditions have made areas between the two countries susceptible to wildfires. France is on its high state of alert for extreme temperatures. 2 large fires in the south are keeping emergency services busy. Thousands have been evacuated and kilometres of land lost to the flames. Natasha Butler reports from Paris.
Well, rather unsurprisingly, not many people are braving the heat at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. Record-breaking temperatures expected in many parts of France, including in the north in Brittany, an area that is known usually for its very cool climate. Now, the French government have put several regions on red alert. They have advised people to be extremely vigilant. They've rolled out their heatwave emergency plan, advising people to stay at home, stay in the shade, and keep very hydrated indeed. It's not that heat waves are uncommon in France. Usually they are several years apart. Climate change experts say that because of the changing temperatures that we are seeing, this heat waves that are more intense and more frequent. This heat wave, in fact, is the second one in just a few weeks. The dry, hot weather certainly exacerbated the situation for firefighters who've been battling blazes in the southwest of France, the Gironde region. Thousands of people have been evacuated from campsites and homes in the area. It is part of France. It's very popular indeed with holidaymakers, particularly of course at this time of year in the summer break. Well, meteorologists say though that there is some respite on the horizon for firefighters and emergency services there, with temperatures predicted to drop by at least 10 degrees Celsius in the coming days. Sasha Butler for Inside Story.
That heat wave punishing Europe is coming from North Africa. In Morocco, firefighters have been sent to remote mountain forests in the north. Fires there have forced more than 1,000 people to be evacuated. Almost 5,000 hectares of forest have been burnt. Abdelmanin Al-Rami has more from near the fires in Morocco's Larache province.
This forest here is called Mazarin. It is located in the province of Larache in the northwest of Morocco. to that direction about 100 or 150 kilometers. As you can see, the firefighters are still working in this forest in order to avoid that the fire that destroyed it be reignited again because of the windy weather, because of the hot weather. This part of Morocco has registered some heat wave temperatures as high as 40 degrees in the last days, which is not normal in this region, which has basically a Mediterranean weather.
Let me take a look at the chat. Drop top. Who is this fucking dude? I have no idea who the F chooses Bill as an alias. I don't know Drop Top, but I'm glad he's here. He's been keeping you guys entertained while I'm actually working in the background. So I just finished the brochure, a draft of the brochure that has one of our sponsors, that the last sponsor that we're actually still waiting on. And I sent him a copy just so you could take a look and figure out if this is something he's interested in, and we'll hear from them in the next day or so. We'll definitely know for sure by the end of this week. So, but thank you guys for staying up late tonight with me, man. I really appreciate you guys coming through. Big shout outs to Zamosa. Let me give a shout outs to the people that supported tonight. We donated. We still about 1,000 left. A little under 1,000 now. I keep saying 1,000 every time someone donates, but in reality it's a little less than 1,000. But I want to give a big shout outs to the people that contributed tonight to help us get inch closer and closer to our goal to be complete for Anime Confest in the next 2 weeks for the Valkyries. So that's a shout out to Samosa for the $10 donation. Big shout outs to Red Scarlet, who dropped 10 as well. Yeah. And then Moon Razor, who dropped $20. Big shout outs to Moon Razor for that $20 donation. And Arius, Arius, who donated $10. I want to thank all you guys for dropping that, man, and I really appreciate that. So we made $50 tonight. Definitely good. We're going to try to do I'm going to definitely come back. We actually have to go to the Live Video Game TV tomorrow, so we don't really have a choice. Yeah, we're going to go to Live Video Game TV tomorrow. I'm watching that game up on the top of the screen like an idiot. We're going to go to the Live Video Game TV tomorrow. We got a shoot that we got to do. I think we have like 3 shoots this week that we have to do. The Valkyries won't be coming around this week, but we do have to meet up because they have dance rehearsal for a couple of the performances that they're going to be doing. So this is going to be a real stressful and tiresome week. And then next week is just going to be it. It's going to be far worse next week than it is this week because, it's the final week or whatever. We'll do what we can. So big shout outs to all the guys that supported tonight. Thank you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. We got more work to do, and we'll go over the world news and all this other stuff, and hopefully guys like Bill Cipher and his other alias accounts. Let's get the names of these guys. His other alias accounts such as Bob Flexer, The Stalker. What type of name is The Stalker, right? Who else? Tony Tiger. Who else? This is how many alternate accounts, and he uses them to talk to himself because he's lonely. Who else? Come on. What? Hold on. That guy was just out there, said the fan was too loud. I think that's it. I think those are all the aliases. I could have sworn he came with like 10 aliases. Come on, man. A guy like you is lonely. You definitely had to have made more than 10 aliases. I'm disappointed. He didn't make it. That's it. That's all the guys he made. Anyway, that's good enough for me. He kept you guys entertained with the jokes. This dude's a virgin. For sure. Pretty much. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for coming by. Big shout outs to Mocats. Keysong, thanks for dropping by. Like I said, Drop Tops and Zamosa. Thank you guys for all joining me late tonight. Who else? Let me give that proper respects to those other guys. Maran, thanks for coming through. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Well, I'm scrolling up, looking through all the different guys' names here. Damn, this guy build a cipher type so much. Why is the chat? Yo, he spam the chat. Kirby, yeah, thanks for showing. I'm stopping through Kirby. I haven't seen you in a while, and whatnot. And who else? Green, I want to thank you. Come in. Oh, there's a guy called Bill Fitness rips off clients. What did he say? Oh, he's the one who said he was a spirit trucker. Okay, so there, that was the other alternate account and whatnot. And Bob Flexer, DT and the Hardwood Idiots. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, there's all the rest of them before it actually stopped in the chat. Yo, Drop Top, what are you doing tomorrow? 10 Virgin has 10 alias accounts. What you doing tomorrow, Drop Top? Before I dip, I got something to ask you. Where is the war room? So let me put this in here. Your mom's. I can't believe the file is too big. Oh well. I'm working then. I got Jujitsu Kaisen after. Oh wow, we saw the movie a while ago. Very good movie. You will be pleased. You will not waste your money watching that movie. Alright, we're over here and we're in our last week trying to gain the last of this money for the Valkyries. Next time you stop by on the stream, if you can drop us, we need all the help that we can to finalize what we're trying to do in terms of the Valkyries. I don't know if you were watching earlier, you didn't see this, but I'm going to put it on the screen for you to see. And this is the brochure that we're working on for the Valkyries for Anime Con. We got to go to print with it, so we have a few more things that we need to do that we need to raise money for. We have to buy furnishings for the booth in terms of like the tablecloths and stuff like that, and we have to also make sure that we have a driver that's going to be able to drive our equipment there and all that sort of stuff. So we're trying to raise the last of less than $1,000 or whatever. So we, like I said, we need all the help we can. So if you come through the next time when you're streaming, you got anything that you can chip, you can give us to chip away at that. Greatly appreciate it. All right. On that note, though, I'm definitely out for the night.